Welcome to Ellefluential. I'm Elle Salagaris, and welcome to the podcast where we go behind the scenes of life, relationships, beauty, and everything in between. Join me as we get a little bit bougie, talk with people I can't wait for you to meet, and share some fun and laughs together. Coming up on this episode.
On Christmas Eve, I went to my friend's house and I saw her housemate and I thought, it's the love of my life. Crazy. And
Tell us what he did for work, Greta.
He worked part-time in a skateboarding shop.
Let's jump into it. Hi guys, and welcome back to Ellefluential. I have today one of the most highly requested recurring guests to come back on the podcast, Greta Stewart. We actually have the funniest story because Greta is Regreta on Instagram, and we have the funniest story we're going to tell later about how a man thought her name was actually Regreta instead of Greta. She's like, my parents don't hate me that much, but thank you. This is going to be a dating and love line episode. We're going to talk about Greta's dating life. I'm going to tell you a couple of funny dating stories of my own. And then we're going to do a love line where I've had people write into Instagram and ask us love and relationship advice questions. But
She's qualified. She's married. And I've got a lot of experience in dating, but no qualifications yet. So, we're very well equipped to answer all the questions.
We are professionals, okay? Get ready. No, because I will give you the most actual, useful and realistic advice that you will ever hear in your life. I'm not going to harp on about some bullshit. No, I'm going to tell you what to actually do. It's still Leo season.
It's only the dawn of it, really.
So we wanted to give a little Leo season update. We have started it out. What have we done? I threw a party on the weekend. Honestly, I think we've been pretty tame.
I've been extremely tame. I actually haven't really gone anywhere because I am gearing up spiritually, physically, mentally.
But all we've done so far, I went to dinner on Wednesday. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too not tame. I had a party on the weekend to kick off Leo season. That was what we finished up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Tame.
I was home in bed by 2 a.m, so I feel good about that.
Super tame. So I made a list of Leo season rules that we wanted to share. And then we had asked Mr. Liam Sharma, who was a guest on our last podcast. If you didn't watch our bonus Leo season episode, go watch it because that's honestly one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done.
Al texted in our group chat with me and Liam and said, help, number 10, I need a 10th Leo season rule. And Liam came in with about 25 absolutely outrageous rules, which, we'll read them out.
First, we'll read out my rules. Number 1, no sad music, which is hard if you're a Swiftie, and we are big Swifties.
Yeah, I feel like August even is kind of a sad song. The tune is sad, the song, whatever, open for interpretation. But yesterday I walked to the beach in the rain before I had work just to take a video of because I live by the beach, of the water, and I thought, oh, this is going to be stunning. It was tied out, seaweed everywhere. It looked disgusting. Put it straight on my story because I needed people to know August's here.
August, so we had to put August by Taylor Swift. And then you reminded me, I'd just been at an event at Bondi. I was like, you sent that to me and I was like, hold on, I actually have a gloriously aesthetic shot of Bondi Beach. And I copied her story exactly and put the words to August of Bondi Beach. Anyways, we're not doing very good at that rule because we did on our way to the solarium last night. We were belting sad Taylor Swift music. Okay, moving on. Okay, number 2, martinis. The drink of the season is a martini.
And I remember the first time I was with Al, and I'm not really a martini. Well, I wasn't, a martini drinker. I am now. And I ordered a vodka martini because in my mind, vodka's nicer than gin because I hate gin and tonics. And Al almost had a conniption. He really does. Anyway, now I know the only correct way to order is extra dirty, extra dry. Just lick the glass with vermouth.
Yes, and
Tank 10.
Yes.
Tank 10.
Do we order vodka martinis? No, gin,
They're
guys.
very uncouth.
Gin. Has nobody seen Gossip Girl? Blair Waldorf herself. It's a gin martini. The martini was originally made with gin. A vodka martini is not even a traditional martini. And I will stand by this, okay? The traditional martini is gin, okay? And if you drink vodka, you're a lunatic. Number 3, this is one that we're doing very bad at. No hangovers.
I'm actually okay.
I think honestly, Sunday I was not hungover. Yesterday I did send you a photo of myself with an eye mask
Oh, you did.
With a ice pack shoved into the top of the eye mask.
I didn't even notice that. I thought it was just a big eye mask. I've been up and sprightly, since I was last on here, actually.
See, you're killing, but you're not going out.
Yeah, I know. I don't go anywhere. That's why.
Number 4, throwing looks. If anyone's noticed, we've swapped tracksuits
Yeah.
from our last. You have to throw a look every single where that you go. Like, that's just a must. It has to be outrageous. Fur, heels.
Yeah, I already was just at Elle's house and I was opening a drawer. I saw quite a few new sequined outfits and I have my eye on for borrowing them because there's a lot of events coming up and I've already ran out of all of mine. Or I've got a lot of very long outfits, which isn't good when it's raining because it touches the ground and soaks it up like a cloth.
Leo season has to be short. You got to have pins out.
Pins out, tan on.
I've got 3 of those Love Nuki sequin, black sequin. 3 different styles. That is outrageous. Okay, number 5, hot photos of oneself. I mean, that's a given. It doesn't matter how many times it takes to get the shot. We need to be posting. Number 6, strutting. I think we need to get it into the Leo strut because all of us do it.
Yeah.
Do you not? You are the biggest strutter out of all of us.
I am the biggest strutter. And also I have a lot of practice because I can't drive. So I do walk everywhere. And so I've got a lot more kind of strutting time throughout the month of August.
But I would say as a Leo, we probably strut like maybe 60, 70% of the time. Leo season, you have to strut.
Truly.
Everywhere.
And I also love when you're at a restaurant and you get up to go to the bathroom. And do you know what I mean? And you stand up and I like to think all eyes are looking at me.
They are.
Definitely they are. My little sequin dress. Doing a real strut, kind of a flick. It's gorgeous.
Number 8, be the last man standing.
We'll see.
That was us maybe last Leo season and the Leo season before. This time, I think we've been calling it.
We now have responsibilities.
We've got self-respect.
Yeah.
Number 9, no skipping workouts. I definitely skipped my workout on Monday.
Every time I open my eyes, I think about this Instagram I follow and it says sleep is the most important health principle. So I think about going to the gym and then I close my eyes and by the time I wake back up, the time's passed.
This morning I woke up at 7:09 and I was supposed to be at the gym at 7:15. I was only 5 minutes late. Like, I did kill it.
I washed my hair instead.
Anyways, and then I was looking for a number 10.
And that's where Liam came in.
And this is where Liam steps in. And this is where the rules are going to get, because these are very, very tame rules compared to what I'm about.
Liam's are absolutely outrageous and out of control.
Abusing your prescription medication. Eating nothing once a week for 48 hours. Sleeping with your ex and then stealing from him. Toxicities. Screenshotting bitches' messages and putting them on blast. Blast in capital letters. Venom. Rotting on Sunday for 19 hours watching girls. Whispering really loud.
I mean, that's me half the time anyway because of my voice.
And then he kept going. Talking to your mental disorder like it's another person. Speaking in third person. And the last and final one is fame, fortune, and finger banging. So if you see that on my next Instagram caption.
Thank you, Liam Sharma. Anyway, we're going to enter the love portion of the episode, or lack thereof, in my case. Anyway, Elle was out for a date night with her husband the other day.
Lucas and I went on a world tour. Like, Leah's season, I think the feralness of it really affects him as well. So we went out on a lovely, glorious date to Good Luck. And then you can have them kind of sneak you out the back of Good Luck and take you up into Hemisphere. It's like someone comes from guest relations and escorts you up there. We're doing tequila shots. We're doing 42. We're trying the new Kendall Jenner 818. We're just getting ridiculously. I don't even know. There was definitely another venue we went to after that where more shots were taken. I end up at the Roosevelt. Picture me at the Roosevelt. What was I doing at the Roosevelt?
I quite like it there. I was there last Thursday.
Of course you were. I'm in the bathroom. This girl comes bursting into the bathroom and she's just like, you know how we start chatting or anything, and maybe she knew who I was. And she's like, oh my God, like, I need your help. I'm on this date and I hate this man. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to get out of it. And me in the bathroom, I'm like, oh my God, honey. Say less. You need to reject a man? I'll do it. So I have her point him out. I was like standing across the table and I was like this to him. I was just sitting down. I like walk up and I'm like, hi, I'm really sorry, but your date, she's just not interested in you. She doesn't want to be here anymore. She's left.
She left?
She left.
Oh.
She left. And I was like, I suggest that you should probably go, okay? And he's just sitting there looking at me like, are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. That was, guys, if you ever need me to reject a man for you, just reach out. I'm here. I'm available. I will do it. I will strut. Like that made my whole entire night. I loved doing that. There's nothing I love more than breaking a man's heart.
And I woke up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym, and I had a barrage of texts from Elle in the middle of the night, step by step, telling me about all the things that she'd done. I was thinking, what on earth have you been up to?
And she did message me on Instagram the other day and said, thank you so much for getting me out of a bad date. I said, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. I mean, the thing about me is I don't have a boyfriend. Would I like one? Maybe, if I find one who is, interesting enough. But I've gone on a lot of dates. And I've been, New Zealand, Australia. I'm an international woman is what I like to think. And I'm very also not spontaneous. So I do need to plan everything out.
So we're going to get into Greta's dating history. So Greta really loves a New Zealand man, but she loves a certain type of a New Zealand man.
I love people without jobs.
So we're going to start with New Zealand jobless man number 1, who she met 2 Christmases ago.
Who, let me preface this with say, we're actually very good friends and I love him very much. So,
okay.
No hate.
So if you're listening.
But what on earth was I doing? Anyway, so went to New Zealand and ended up extending my trip, going away with this man. And it was just, at the time I thought, this is true love. I'm running through fields. I've got no shoes on. I'm at the beach. This is amazing. Sleeping in a tent. And texting Al the whole time saying, Al, I've fallen in love. Like this is it. He comes to Sydney to stay with me for
Can I also say, as she's messaging me this, I am like, Greta, babe, no.
I was having a lot of fun. I have to say, I was having a lot of fun. I said, he's coming to Australia to stay with me. And I was thinking, this is going to be the soft kind of way that he's going to end up moving here. We're going to fall in love. We're going to get a house together and get married and have a baby. And then he came here. I just moved house. He came here that day.
And we had your housewarming.
Had a housewarming. And I said, guys, everyone, love my life's here.
She brought him. I show up to this housewarming and she's got him here. And I come and I bring my husband, who's a 40-year-old businessman. And then it was like all of our friends, like a couple of our friends. And then Greta is here with this man.
In a beanie.
Who, in a beanie, in a little like skater boy, little outfit with like little it was giving, like we all walked in and we were like, that's him?
Everyone accepts my choices by now. Anyway, we got into a fight because I was set off by the fact that he didn't make the bed and left the toilet seat up. And it really just, something snapped. And anyway, he ended up having to stay with someone else for 2 days. And we didn't speak for a very long time. We're now friends again.
Okay, so the first one, he was just like a little bit not tidy and stuff. And you got in a big fight.
He was a boy, no man.
And I think as soon as you brought him around your friends, you realized that he did not fit in to your Sydney life. And then she hated him and you barely spoke to him the whole party.
Yeah. And also I said to him, I'm very different when I'm in Sydney because here, I wear shoes to the supermarket, that sort of thing. In New Zealand, I'm quite free-spirited, quite different. Here, I'm a lot more uptight.
Yeah.
And so
didn't learn her lesson. So we walked away from that and we were like, Greta, you cannot be dating these men because they don't fit into your life. It's a summer fling, Dolly, a summer fling. And you just need to leave it as a summer fling. What is that thing from Greece?
Never seen it.
Or whatever. He's not your John Travolta.
Anyway, so then I went home for Christmas last year. And on Christmas Eve, I went to my friend's house and I saw her housemate and I thought, it's the love of my life. Crazy. And
Tell us what he did for work, Greta.
He worked part-time in a skateboarding shop. Anyway, Boxing Day comes around 2 days later. Felt like years because the love had just moved so quickly.
You didn't even tell me about him because you were too scared.
Yes, I kept it to myself, which is not something I do often. By the time it was Boxing Day, I was sitting poolside at my friend's house and he said, how about we go away together? I'm not spontaneous. I said, yes, changed my flight from New Zealand back to Sydney to New Year's Eve and we went away in his van together. And again, I had a beautiful shoeless beachside holiday, which was very, very fun at the time and like very enjoyable. Then when I was leaving,
No, you were sending me photos of you just by herself. And I'm like, you've got no friends there. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm just actually, because she said she was with her friend, her girlfriend. And it's just photos of her on the beach.
I was lying.
Her out doing things. And I'm like, there's no other girls in these photos. It's just Greta. I know you're with a boy.
There was a hand in one and Holly zoomed into it and said, whose hand is that? And she said, very thin feminine fingers. And I said, yes, it's a woman.
Babe, it looked like a woman's hand.
Anyway, then I came back and I was absolutely smitten. So I went back to New Zealand 3 weeks later.
And you didn't even tell me about that.
I didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anyone in New Zealand.
Said you were with a girlfriend.
Didn't tell my mother. She said, did you come to New Zealand? I said, oh, yeah, I did. We went away again. We went to these beautiful beaches, all driving around. I'm thinking, this is how I want to live. I want to live in a beautiful wooden shack by the beach. I want to have non-stick pots and, no, not non-stick, like all the silver pots and pans. I was imagining kind of like a shack version of my life. And it was quite enticing. And then I
Gorgeous.
came back.
It's giving but daddy, I love him.
And a week later, he came and stayed with me. And
No, before this. Okay, but because before he came and stayed with you, Greta had to admit to me that she'd been dating this man. We're having a little just gathering at her house. We're in the kitchen. It's gotten to the point where she's had enough glasses of wine or enough standard drinks that she says, Elle, I need to tell you something and I'm so scared. When I was in New Zealand, I was with a man. I was like, I know. I know. Tell me. She was like shaking. She had to like tell me all about this man.
Because we tell each other everything. And
everything.
And I kept this to myself. And I don't keep much to myself because I can't shut up. And so it was really weighing on me to keep it. Anyway, then he showed up at my doorstep 4 days later.
No. Even before. Rewind. And then Alina and I took you into the bathroom and you were standing there and we were both, because we'd had a little bit much to drink. And you know what? Maybe we were being a little bit intense. But because we had seen this happen before and you were like, he's coming to stay with me. We were like, Greta, no. And we were like, for the love of God, I was like, you're not going to end up with someone like this. This is not what you want. You're just barefoot in New Zealand having this great time. This is not your actual life. This is not your life in Sydney. But we were just going off and off and off. I think you started crying.
I did.
Then we started feeling really bad. And we're like, okay, you know what?
Life knows no bounds.
I support you, okay?
And so he came right on over and he came to my house and he met me outside of my work. And I looked at him and I thought, oh, what have I done? He was wearing a crossbody fanny pack and 3/4 baggy shorts. That night I had an event to go to and I said, please, would you mind bringing some long trousers because it's nighttime and we need to go there. First thing I said was, did you bring any long trousers? He said, no, but I wouldn't know anyone there anyway. And I was filled with rage. And that's kind of the emotion I had for the next 5 days. And someone I know said most people would only come for a weekend because they have work to get back to. And that also kind of irked me. So 5 days was about 4 days too many.
Because you were just going to work and then he was just sitting in your apartment. Did he do anything in the apartment?
No. And my friend Alicia was here at the time and she had made us a lovely dinner, said that she was cooking dinner. Didn't bring any flowers, didn't bring any wine, didn't bring anything.
Showed up empty-handed.
Absolutely terrible house guest. And then when one thing annoys you about someone and then everything about them just irks you. Everything, even the way you walk, I hate you.
Because you'd gotten the ick.
Yes.
Once you get the ick, there's no going back.
And then I had gone and met up with some of my girlfriends who are also from New Zealand at Opera Bar and we'd had a lovely lunch and drinks in the sun. We paid. He bought me one drink. And then as we're walking to the ferry, my shoelace came untied and I said, would you mind please tying that up? And he said, what do you think I am? I'm not going to tie that up. Shouldn't have said that. I was yelling on a ferry. I was having a personal moment that was quite out of body experience. And after that, he said, I don't even want to stay with you. And I said, good.
Good. No, what about the time when
he did for 2 more days.
What about when you were at the cafe and you were like ordering stuff for both of you and it came time to pay and he just kind of backed up and was like.
It reminded me when you'd be at school and someone would say, oh, do you want to go up to the movies or something? And it'd get to the paying and you'd stand back like this.
No. It's giving he was the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Babe, it's whenever the check comes out and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. Or you're just standing there with your little purse and, like in my purse is like a single lip oil. Oh, and a hair tie, apparently. A single lip oil and a hair tie. And then you're just like, oh. He was that. He was the girl. He literally let you pay for everything.
Everything. We no longer speak at all. And actually, I found out when I went back to New Zealand about a month ago that he had tried to talk terribly about me to people, but they weren't having a bar of it. So
people in New Zealand know you too well.
Yeah. A win for Greta Stewart.
Not one person in New Zealand would talk about you. That's where we go wrong. Even one time when Greta and I had our one fight in Bali and I called Liam to try and meditate and Greta was like, do not call Liam. He's going to take my side. And he did. Anyways, moving on to Jacuzzi Man.
Oh, really only recently have I moved on to actually wanting to go on dates as a part to frolic around with debaucherous men. So I haven't actually gone on that many dates for that many of them to be really bad, but this one is so, so, so bad. We have to tell it. So I was on the apps for a while, Hinge. I don't have it anymore because I saw this TikTok that said, imagine having the worst day of your life and you go home and you log on to Hinge. And that's how I felt every time. You open it and you think, I absolutely cannot be visually assaulted in this way on a daily. It was hurtful. So match with this man, really good looking.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, let me take you out for dinner. He WhatsApps me, which I thought was a bit weird.
No one our age uses WhatsApp.
But anyway, I thought, whatever. He said, I'll pick you up at 7. I'm thinking, this is how it's all supposed to be. And then he tells me where he's booked. Galberson's Bondi. If you know anything about Sydney, this is more of I'd say it's like a family bistro. It's not a date spot. It's brightly lit fluorescent constantly. And the average price for a meal for 2 is about $40, which, look, I'm a frugal girl myself, but for a date, hello.
For a date.
Anyway, so he picks me up. He comes to the end of my street. He's like, hi, Greta, here I am. So I get in. Speaker's broken. Yui boom, taped to the dashboard with duct tape. I think, all right, look, I also love to save money. No judgment. And I also can't drive or have a car. So you're already doing better than me. We drive the extremely long way to Bondi, at which point he's telling me, I've got a martial arts. I was going to say, is this too much information? I don't care.
No, tell it.
I've got a martial arts competition tomorrow, so I can't drink, but you drink if you want. But I'm really into karate or jiu-jitsu, whatever it was.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu.
They always do fucking jiu-jitsu.
And the whole time he was complaining about how he didn't have any money, which I didn't ask. It made me feel very awkward. And even I was running out of things to talk about, which is extremely rare. Finally, we get there. Oh, I'm missing the most crucial part. Before he picked me up earlier that day, he had sent me a message saying, bring a bikini in case we really hit it off and you would like to come to my jacuzzi later. And then sent a picture of it's a spa pool, by the way, not a jacuzzi.
One of those above ground spa pools that you order off of when you used to go to the Easter show and they would have them all set up.
And I said, I'm not really interested in getting into my swimming togs on a first date. Thank you so much for the offer, but I won't be bringing my togs. Anyway, then we get on the date, and before even at the restaurant, he goes, "Oh, are you sure you don't want to come back to mine after for a swim?" I was like, no. Anyway, we're on the date. It's going absolutely awfully. At one point, I go to the bathroom thinking maybe I can leave. There's bars on the windows. I think, oh my God, I'm literally trapped. He's showing me pictures that messages that he's sent to an artist on Instagram who sells works for about $10,000, trying to barter with the artist, saying, not worth it. I'll give you $10,000 for 3, mate. Let's do it a deal. I'm thinking, oh no,
in front of you.
What is going on? I'm looking at the clock, waiting for it to be an hour and hope that it's an acceptable time to leave because I just didn't know what to do. At one point, he joked about putting things in girls' drinks. Yeah. And I was speechless for the majority of the time. It was the worst date. That was just only the tip of the iceberg. It was so, so, so bad. We leave. We go outside to his car. I go, thank you so much. He looks up. He sees a window where his friend lives. There's a light there. And he goes, oh, that's my friend's house. I wonder how many hot influencers are in there right now. And he says, are you sure you don't want to come back to mine for a jacuzzi? And I'm thinking at this point, how on earth are you thinking this is going well?
50,000 times.
But he's clearly thinking it's going well. And I hug him goodbye and I take off into a sprint down Campbell Parade because I just needed to text out, go home, put a fake tan on, go to sleep. And I think, look, that was it. I wake up.
Saw Greta sprinting down Campbell Avenue that night, mind your business.
I wake up at 8 a.m. and I have a WhatsApp from him that says, that date sucked.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah. And then I told a girl at my work about this and a friend of hers had gone on the same date, asked her to the spa pool and it had gone absolutely terrible. And
I made a TikTok about it. So I made a TikTok about it and I was like, I was pregnant at the time. And you can go back on and you can find this TikTok that I made about I was Sydney men need to get it the fuck together, blah, blah. And this girl reached out to me saying that she'd been on the date with the same guy and he did the same thing to her with the jacuzzi because I think I showed the photo of the jacuzzi in my TikTok and she was like, oh my God, that's him. So he's a notorious, basically serial killer out there. Women, watch out. And man, if you're watching this, get it together, okay? No one wants to come in your fucking jacuzzi on a first date.
Anyway, it's from one kind of downhill to the next. So after the skater obsession that lasted probably about 10 years, we really only hit the tip of the iceberg there, but the rest is just so boring. Who cares? Now I love short kings. For reference, I'm 5'2", and I'm seeing eye to eye, quite literally, with quite a few men these days.
When we say short kings, we are not talking 5'7", 5'8", 5'10". We're not talking like 5'11". That is not the short kings we're talking about. We are talking about literally 5'2" to 5'4".
Petite section, right?
They're shopping in the little boys section.
I put on one of these men's pajamas. I looked like I'd had a BBL that was so tight and small. I was having a connection.
Okay, let's start with the first short. The first short king, was that one my fault?
Well, it wasn't your fault, but it was.
No, but was that the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one was my fault. So the first one was me trying to set Greta up with one of my. What my most asked question is, does your husband have any friends? Does your husband have any friends?
I've asked.
He doesn't. Okay, so you can all stop asking me. He had one friend who is. I love him so much. He's gonna watch this, okay? And I love you so much, okay?
He's very kind and very fun.
You're
but
one
romantic.
of my best friends, and I tried to set you guys up.
It was a bad romantic
You're
match.
two little pocket rockets, and I thought you would really love each other. And he is also very successful. He is 6 feet when he stands on his wallet, babe. He's very successful. Like good for you. Like, you're killing it, babe. You know, I love you. Anyways, it didn't go well.
I think we really tried to make it go very well.
Because we wanted the vibes of it. We were like double dates.
It was going to be perfect.
We were going to have matching mum cars. We were going to go on couples holidays.
It really made sense all on paper. And so we definitely tried to make it work. We were a terrible romantic match. We had nothing in common at all. We're both funny, I suppose, but it was just an absolute disaster. And then he took me on a really lovely holiday, which was a really nice holiday. But when I was out for dinner with him and he said, oh, would you like to put your frequent flyer on the flights? I said, absolutely. Putting the number in and doesn't work about twice. And I think, oh, you're not listening to me. You've got the number wrong. Turns the phone around. The ticket is booked under the name Greta Stewart.
Which is her Instagram handle. Her Instagram handle is Regretta.
And he said, I just thought your parents didn't like you that much.
So we had to call them up.
Yeah, and he had to call them to change it because he couldn't do it on the app and explain to them what had happened.
Anyway, so like for some reason the man doesn't eat. Maybe look into that. But so he doesn't eat. So like you got on the plane, didn't eat lunch, got on the plane, got there. It was like dinner time. And you were like, oh, so should we get some dinner? He's like, no, I'm not really hungry. And Greta's like, oh, because you know when a guy's like, oh, I'm not, you're like, oh, no, me neither. I'm not hungry either. Starving.
My tummy's like,
And then you're drinking copious amounts, and then like the date is just going so downhill, like the whole weekend basically, that Greta is just
3 days
turning into an alcoholic. So he walks away from that and comes very concerned to my husband, who ends up telling me, I think Greta is an alcoholic.
I was starving. Starving. And we were going to these beautiful places, all degustation. And I was thinking, oh, God, I'd kill for a bowl of chips. Ravenous.
And then just slamming cocktails and stuff, and like getting like, because you know when you're in that honeymoon phase and you're drinking together and stuff, so like no wonder he thought you were a fucking alcoholic.
Okay, so currently, most recently, I've been, I would say dating, but that would be what I would be hopeful for it. For him, I was just kind of there. A man who we are the same height, who hates me. Last I did see him was on the weekend where he said, babe, did you leave a lip balm here last time? I don't use Nivea chapstick. But yeah, I think that the door might have shut on that one.
I think the door shut on that one.
The door shut a long time ago, but I was banging it down, honey, let me tell you. The way I'm going to be recovering from this, affliction is turning a look every day of Leo season, smiling at men in the eye, and really just hoping for a miracle at this stage.
You've got to do a Leo strat. I have my own short king story. Back in the day when I have 2 short king stories actually. So the first one was one of like the very first loves of my life, who I don't even think liked me that much, who back when I was in high school and I hadn't even lost my virginity yet. And I think he was like the second man that I ever slept with. He was probably, I'm 5'4.5", 5'5". He would have been your height. He would have been 5'2". I was looking down, tiny little man. And I would drive all the way to his college, which was an hour and a half away, just to like jump in bed with him and sleep with him, and then drive all the way home. Like, 'cause he always had some kind of excuse of like, it would be like, 5 a.m. in the morning, and he'd be like, oh, I have to go to the dentist. Poor little Elle. So that short king lasted a little bit, and that kind of like always dipped my toes. And also I think like one of the first boys I was really obsessed with, who I really liked and I was dating but didn't really like me, like similar thing, was also really short. And they both had similar names. So one was named, should I name them? They both had, one of their first names was the other one's last name.
Ah.
Yeah, so I think there was something going on there.
The thing about short kings, though, they have swag.
Oh, that is what is my biggest thing, is that I fall for the swag. Both of these boys, that one had it's like what they lack in height, they make up for with fucking Riz.
They're
It's like,
always fun, funny, vibes. Can't fold it. Cannot fold it, truly.
Riz your socks off. Anyways, I got my socks absolutely rizzed the fuck off by another short king in Sydney, who ended up taking me on one of the most glorious days. Sent like an Uber premiere for me, picked me up, took me to a mare, made us like switch tables like 3 different times because like he wanted to get the perfect table. He had Krug ordered in from like another restaurant because they didn't serve Krug.
What is that?
Everything Krug champagne, babe. Like a really, really nice champagne. Had it like ordered in, spared no expense, was giving like, they were like shaving truffles on everything, was like beautiful drinks flowing, everything, like drove me home in his Rolls Royce, like dropped me off. Like I just had this, you know what? We were the exact same height. Like I wore flats on the date just to make sure. But he like literally knocked my socks off. Was like the rizziest man.
Something about them.
Okay, guys, our next segment is going to be our love line. Are we ready?
I'm so excited.
Are you ready? Okay, Greta, put your therapist hat on. Why do guys show interest right up until you catch feelings and then they disappear? I would like to know the same. This happens to me so much. Oh my God. It's something about how like they go so hard at you for so long. Like they go so hard and they're like so obsessive. It's almost like love bombing, and they go so hard. And then as soon as you are like, okay, and like you don't even really like them at first. You know what I mean? But then they go so hard at you that you can't even help but get attached and catch feelings. And then the second that you catch feelings, they're like, oh, okay, cool. Never mind.
Why is that?
That was fun. It's honestly, it's because I think this is the thing with like, I think it comes along with narcissists, and it's something to like, they are literally love bombing you. And then once they get to that point, it's the chase. That's all they care about. They care about the chase. They just want to catch you. They just want to know that they can have you. They don't actually want you, and they don't actually want you and the longevity of it. They don't want a relationship. They just want to know for their own ego that they can catch you. So if they're coming at you that hard, and then like that's a red flag, first of all.
It's like how all men love fishing. It's like a catch and release program.
Exactly, babe.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, like because they're just catching those like I mean, it's not nice. And it's not nice to know that you're not a fish worth holding on to and eating. Tiny little flat. I'm a little like, what's it, a little Nemo? They're like,
Oh.
throw that one back. Your view on no contact, Greta?
It works. But also I think if someone's mean to you, just cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares?
What you have to do, if you actually need to like walk away from someone, you need to step away from something, you need to block them on everything, mute their stories, like unfollow them, do not like block their phone number, do not let them contact you, don't look them up. Don't look at their stuff. This is like one of the things that I'm really, really good at this. Like, especially like once you're dead to me, you're dead to me. You have to just pretend that they died. Okay. They died. They don't exist. Because if you keep like checking in on them, or you're seeing their things, or like you're running into them, you can't help it. Like you're just going to keep having that. If you actually want that person gone, no contact. Where do we find those guys with a provider mindset? Not in Sydney.
Not the places I'm going, let me tell you that much.
If I'm going to give my real honest advice on this, I would say you want to go to kind of the scummier places, like go to Hemisphere, go to Level 6, go out in the financial district. You guys know the financial district. Anywhere in and near and around the One Farrer building, that is your spot.
1 block radius.
Just look at how if they put a wad of cash out of their wallet and if they're paying for their friends' drinks, that's even better. If like it comes to the end of the night and someone's paying for the table and they're putting their card down, if they're paying for you and your drinks, and they have to also be paying for your friends' drinks, okay? I'm sorry. If a man walks up and comes up and offers to buy you a drink and he doesn't offer to buy every single one of your friends a drink, red flag. And also, if they want to come and sit at your table, I'm sorry, and waste your time and speak to you, does my time not look valuable? Pay our bill.
Agree.
Anyways, they will show you if they're a provider or not. And it's not even about just the money. It's like, are they taking care of you? Are they doing like cute little things for you? Are they like going and getting you a coffee? Are they bringing you flowers? Are they like, going and filling up your Stanley cup? That's a little bit niche for us. But are they doing cute little acts of service for you? Like that is being a provider. That's someone who wants you to have they care about your lifestyle as well. So they care about what you're doing. What are your goals? Where do you want to end up? It's not just about like they're so worried about what they're doing. Like they care about you and they're like, do you want to be a mother? Do you want to be doing this? Where do you want to go in your career? How can I help you? Like how are we a team? How are we going to build this life together? Like those are the vibes that you need to get, and that they really want to help you and fuel you and fuel your life together and make you both the best that you can be.
But also in saying that, if someone is not nice to you the first time they meet you, they will never be nice to you. They will not change.
They show you who they are in the beginning.
Yes.
And don't think that you can change them. You can't. Greta loves a fixer-upper.
And I am really bad at it. If the best is already bad, you're in for a very, very terrible, terrible time.
What to do when men just don't know how to approach you, how to call them without looking desperate. Okay, I'm pretty good about this, and I do this for several of my friends when we're out. Not all men. I think we've gotten into this thing where we think that you have to just sit there and do absolutely nothing, and men are just going to flock to you and approach you and throw themselves at you and throw them. We live in Sydney, guys, okay? That's not going to happen. But you have to make yourself look available. This is like my biggest advice. You have to like sit there, be looking around the room, make eye contact, hot lap, get up, strut to the bathroom, do like a full lap around the restaurant on your way to the bathroom, make eye contact, give little like smiles, give like cute little looks, give a little like, you know what I mean? You can even give them, the most that you probably can do is give them like a little like,
no, she's did a come hither motion. Absolutely not.
Do a little come hither. No, okay, fine. Even if you don't want to do a come, you can do like a little like, what about like a little Greta? What about like a little nod?
I know, but Al tells me these things and they do work.
They work!
Even though I am not shy at all, as soon as I'm in the vicinity of a man trying to court me, I go mute and stare at the ground. We'll go out for drinks and I sit there staring at the floor. Someone talks to me and I'm thinking, oh, actually go away from me.
And all my friends are like this. These are when you're asking me for this advice, it's because you're like that.
I know.
And I know you're like that. So if you're watching, you just need to channel Elle and look that motherfucker in the eye, okay? And give him a cute little... And then they will come up to you. I promise. They will.
It does work. When I have taken her advice, it has worked.
It works, okay? It works. You have to look approachable because they're not going to come up and talk to you if they think that you're going to...
I kind of think it's alluring and aloof, but clearly they just think I got problems.
It's not giving what you think it's giving. Can a toxic relationship... Oh, I can't even finish this one. Can a toxic relationship turn into a healthy one over time?
No, you're better than that. Move on. You're wasting your time. I saw this analogy that was said like when you used to have a house phone, if someone else would try and call while you're on the phone, it would do the dial tone of like engaged. And that's the same thing. If you're still hanging on to something that is dead and not have any purpose, and obviously toxic is not good for you, ruining your life, you're blocking yourself from receiving other blessings and other good things because you don't have the time. You're not available to receiving good things. So no.
It's giving dial tone. Every man I talk to just assumes I sleep around because of my body type. Any advice? I think my sexuality is one of my biggest powers. That is like one thing that my husband like loves about me the most is like having like really oozing and owning that sexuality. I think like we've gotten into a point in society where slut shaming is over. Guys, it's 2024. Own it. I think the best thing that you can do in that moment is to own it. Come out and be like, yes, I'm a very sexual person. Like I don't think that turns men off.
But I think also, obviously you're beautiful and good looking. And people are only saying that because they want a chance with you. They know they can't. So they're trying to make you feel bad about yourself. You don't even want to be with someone who says those sorts of things. Someone who is right for you and meant for you is not going to be mean to you. Mean people do not change. If they're nice to you, they will continue to be nice. Well, for the most part. But someone saying that to you is not worth your time anyway. Move on. You don't even need to crowd your brain and life with someone who is clearly a loser and a freak.
What's Greta's hot take on dating culture?
Well, If you really want to know, awful. Terrible, sad, tragic. I don't know. What even is dating culture? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't actually go on that many dates. I don't really go out. I kind of just, like, I don't actually go on that many dates. It's a rough world out there and it makes me feel bad about myself, if you want to know the truth.
Greta's favorite thing to do is to plan 5 dates out of the week and then cancel every single one of them.
Yeah, I do. I go through these phases. I do it maybe once every 6 months. I'll get the apps because I'll fully delete the whole thing because I think, oh, it's so embarrassing. What if I'm at the supermarket and someone sees that I'm on Hinge, but obviously they're on Hinge, so I would see them. But then, and I make a new one and I think, oh my God, you loser, you're still on the apps. Same. Anyway, and so I'll set up all these 5 dates because I think you've got to get out there. I've got to be really getting them out so I can cover more ground. And by lunchtime, I will cancel them all. I'll be texting, oh, what are you doing? I might come around for tea.
And I'm like, aren't you supposed to be going on a date?
No.
I cancelled it.
I can't. I get really, really, really nervous as well.
And then how many times have we made you a new Hinge profile?
About 6. I'm currently off the apps.
No apps. I actually am fully agree with that. Unless you can get on something like Raya. Raya would be the only one that I would maybe approve. No apps.
The best thing to do, though, is to ask all of your friends. Like, I do this and I have been set up on a few dates. And if at least it doesn't work out romantically, you know you have friends in common and something in common and they're nice and they've been kind of pre-vetted. And I've made a lot of friends that way. You have to just ask every single person, you know, oh, I'd like to go on a few dates, and they will think of someone and set you up on a date. And it does work. And if nothing else, you go out for a few drinks, you go out for dinner, you have fun and you make a new friend.
You get a free meal. Would you rather know everything about your partner's dating history or nothing?
Everything.
Same.
You have to know. Otherwise, there's that itch that's never scratched of like, oh, but what if? I need to know the ins and outs, even things that are going to hurt my feelings so that I have a really informed, knowledge. You never know what you need to know.
I'm just going to put out a little PSA that if you have ever even kissed Lucas, I know about it. My husband, to all of his ex-girlfriends, to all of his ex-situationships, to anyone he's ever hooked up with since the age of like 12, 13, his first kiss, his first everything, I know everything about you and everything that you did together. And I know it all. I also have like my favorites of his ex-girlfriends, and I have like my least favorites, and I have like the ones that I think back and I'm like, oh, I really like her. I think we would be friends. We run into them all the time. So they're all most of them are from Adelaide, and we have run into almost every single one of his ex-girlfriends. Usually it's when like he's like pushing the double pram and we've got 3 kids. And I'm there in like little activewear and stuff, and so it works out. But like, yeah, if you have ever so much as anything with Lucas, I know about it. And honestly, I just am too fucking nosy.
I am so nosy. The curiosity would kill me. I'm like, so tell me the goss, and I need to know the ins and outs, not just a kind of roundabout story.
No, I know every
like, what were you wearing?
Detail.
Where'd you go? What do you order on the dinner? I need to know these.
Oh no, I know
that
like the
feed me.
sexual details and stuff as well. No, I need to know everything.
I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm not married yet, so who knows? Maybe I'll take that out.
I know everything. I know everything. What do you wish you could ask your ex-situationship? Why did you fumble so hard, and do you regret it now? Because I think I'm kind of like really, really fucking slaying.
I would agree. I think I would say, are you still balding? But there's also no point thinking about like, why not me? Who cares? Move on. Get over it.
Well,
Do you know
why
what
not
I mean?
me?
Find
Because
something better. They didn't want you. Move on.
Yeah, but why not me? Because you don't deserve me.
So true.
How do I stop getting the ick?
Close your eyes.
Oh, honey, you can't. Lucas gave me the ick the other day.
I mean, if you really like someone, you'd be able to move past those things. If you're really quite repulsed by someone, take it as a sign.
You get the ick from everyone. Like my husband gives me the ick. Like it's hard when it's like, I got the ick from someone recently because they started posting too much about Jesus. Oh.
This is so bad, but when people, no, it's actually not bad. I hate people who chew with their mouth open, even though I always am talking because I can't shut up, but that's only to you.
Oh.
But if I'm on a date with someone and they chewing weird or doing something, I actually can't see them again.
No, that's disgusting.
Makes me feel sick.
I've got misophonia, so I just hate chewing in general. Sometimes we'll be in the car and Greta will be chewing gum and I'll be like, spit it out.
Yeah, she does do that to me.
Okay. This is a long but interesting story. Ooh, are we ready for this one? Okay. Basically, I matched with this guy on Hinge, red flag already, in 2022. Couldn't get him out of my mind. He lives in Sydney. I live in Melbourne. Tried to find him on socials. He's not on social media. Found his LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great way to track down a man. We always track them down. You know, my husband's LinkedIn searches since I started doing social media went through the fucking roof. Can you guys leave him alone? Anyways, moving on. Finally mustered up the courage to strike up a convo and asked him for career advice, which was an excuse, LOL. Yeah, we know it's an excuse. And then asked him to catch up. And he didn't respond. My spiritual side thinks there's something. My logical side thinks it's insane thoughts.
I'm going to say this.
Honey, honey, we're going to hold your hand while we say this. We're going to spiritually hold each other's hands, but we're going to hold your hand while we say this.
He doesn't like you.
He doesn't like you.
A dog is always barking. If you're not feeding it, someone else is. Like, truly. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't like you. He did not see your message. He doesn't care. Sorry. I've sent many a message in my time and many of them have gone unreplied and I just delete them, pretend it never happened. Who cares?
That is the best advice. Delete it, pretend it never happened, block him on everything.
Then if they message me, I'm like, oh my God, they messaged me first because I forgot about it. It didn't happen. I believe what I want.
He reached out to me.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh, no. I think we get stuck as girls. We really get stuck in, we just love the idea of something and we get this whole, you meet someone one time, then all of a sudden in your head you've planned out, you're married, you're with kids, you know what your kids' names are, you know where you're going to live, like you've planned your whole future together and you're in love with the idea of them. You don't actually know this man. You're in love with the idea of what you think is going to happen. You're living in, we're so delulu, babe. And I have no judgment for being delulu because
Yeah. I mean, if you have a LinkedIn, you clearly have quite a good job. So you should just go and find a different man.
Yeah, babe.
And don't message people on LinkedIn. I don't have LinkedIn, so I don't really know how it works.
I don't think it's a good in.
Go outside and smile at a man. It'll work. How to get a man who looks after you. How do you need to be? I want to be silly and have fun. I'll leave Elle to answer this because I have no answers for you.
I wanted to read that question and she's like, I actually have nothing to say. I think I touched on this earlier. When they ask you about your interests, be like, I love fine dining restaurants. These are my favorite restaurants. Name say that you love going to Mimi. Say you like going to Fred's. Say that your favorite restaurants are expensive restaurants. Say that your favorite stores are be like, I love Louis Vuitton. My favorite store is Hermes. My favorite restaurant is Mimi's. And and for my birthday, I would like a Van Cleef.
That's me. I'm like, let's go to Sushi Train.
No, and then you're going to weed out all of the men who aren't prepared to spoil you and splurge on you. You just have to come across as expensive. And if they're trying to book a date, pick a restaurant that's a nice restaurant, show up with a lip gloss in your purse and just be like, just have those expectations. And so that is it for our love line, dating and advice segment from your two love experts, Elle and
Greta.
And I think that's it for the episode.
Yay.
So we love Greta as a recurring guest. I had someone come on and say that they wanted you on monthly. How do you feel about that?
Not going to happen, but I'll pop up every now and then.
Okay, let me just get the fucking... Thank you everyone for listening to this episode and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Ellefluential. If you're enjoying the show, hit the follow for future episodes. Plus, you can find me on socials. I'm at Elle_Eastern Suburbs Mum on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm Elle Salagaris on YouTube. XOXO, Elle.